The extremely volatile week is coming to an end. The euphoria on Wall Street is ebbing away, but is still setting the tone. The benchmark indexes are poised to extend their rally. InstaForex analysts know what to expect from the New York session on Friday. The session on Thursday revealed that the US stock market was hungry for good news. The major stock indexes skyrocketed after the US CPI report showed the signs of a slowdown in US inflation. The news immediately revived the appetite for risk. All three Wall Street indexes looked notably into the growth. The Dow Jones jumped by 1,200 points, or 3.69%. The Nasdaq displayed the strongest performance, having closed 7.35% up. The S&P500 surged by 5.53% to close at 3,955 points. The new trading session is going to be quiet today, though the market sentiment remains equally optimistic. The major stock indexes traded in the green in the New York pre-market. Amid positive fundamentals, the S&P 500 is expected to trade in the intraday corridor between 3,900 points and 4,110. Earlier, high inflation is to blame for the doom and the gloom on Wall Street this year. Yesterday, the red-hot CPI propelled a rally on the stock market. Indeed, the CPI eased the pace of annual growth to 7.7%, lower than the forecast for a 7.9% increase. The CPI rose 0.4% on months in October, also below the expected 0.6% growth. The core CPI, excluding food and energy prices, climbed 0.3% below the consensus for a 0.5% rise. The publication of the inflation report set markets in motion. Yields of US Treasuries dropped by 31 points intraday. On the top of that, the US dollar index stumbled by more than 2%, the sharpest intraday loss in the last 10 years. The signs of a waning consumer inflation are considered a good omen. Indeed, the US Fed could find it appropriate to moderate the pace of further rate hikes. The Fed funds futures showed that traders expect the US Fed to soften its extremely hawkish rhetoric next month. Besides, traders reckon that the central bank might finish the cycle of rate hikes earlier than expected. Nowadays, investors are betting on a rate hike of 50 basis points in December, whereas the ultimate funds rate could stand at 4.75 or 5% in March next year. The S&P rallied by more than 10% from the lowest levels recorded in mid-October. The Nasdaq surged by almost 8%. On Thursday, Apple set the landmark company record when its market capitalization expanded by almost $191 billion intraday. The shares of Apple, the most reliable company, is closed 8.9% up. As a result, Apple capitalization balanced to $2.34 trillion yesterday. Companies with a mega capitalization such as Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon and Meta traded firmly higher in the New York pre-market. Tesla is trading under pressure because Elon Musk warned late Thursday about possible Twitter's bankruptcy. Stocks of Chinese companies traded in the US also gained ground. Alibaba appreciated by 3.9% because China relaxed some of its tough COVID restrictions. The Consumer Sentiment Index by the University of Michigan is on top later today. The index decreased a bit to 59.5 in November from 59.9 last month. It will hardly dampen optimism on Wall Street. The US dollar could have lost its momentum. Yesterday and today, its index printed the sharpest two-day fall in the last 14 years. By the moment of recording this video, the index had shed another 1%, trading at about 106.8. The intraday corridor for the index is seen between 105.90 and 107.20. In light of the US CPI, the greenback has weakened to the largest degree since late 2015. It's unlikely to recover on Friday. It cannot find support from comments by Fed's policymakers Mary Daly, Esther George and Patrick Harker. The Canadian dollar is certainly benefiting from the greenback's slump. The loonie is extending its strength against its American rival. The loonie gained 0.36% on Friday. The USD CAD pay is expected to trade in the intraday corridor between 1.3150 and 1.3280. The Canadian currency is in a tip-top condition today. Canada is due to report on its inflation next week. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem said that inflation could be tamed efficiently on the condition that the unemployment rate grows from record lows. It means that the Canadian regulator is poised to raise interest rates at a rapid pace, which is bullish for the Canadian dollar. Besides, the loonie owes its strength to a rapid rally in the oil prices. In turn, the oil rally is triggered by Beijing. The Chinese government softened quarantine requirements from 7 to 5 days. Markets cheered the news, which helped oil prices retain the bullish bias. The benchmark rates have appreciated 3% today. The growing risk-on mood revived the crypto market on Thursday, but the prospects are not so bright. Bitcoin rebounded from the low of 16,000 and settled above 17,000. Nevertheless, digital assets are trading under pressure. The flagship crypto has lost 2.64% today. The culprit for pessimism is the same, the saga with the FTX crypto exchange. Some assets of FTX digital markets, the FTX subsidiary, were frozen by the financial watchdog of the Bahamas Islands. The Securities Commission of the Bahamas states that FTX customers' assets were mismanaged or transferred to Alameda Research, the crypto hedge fund owned by FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. The native FTX token tumbled by 7.4% to $3.45, having incurred a heavy loss of 90% this month. However, there is a good piece of news. Justin Sun, the founder of a crypto token Tron, said that he is ready to provide the alien FTX crypto platform with a bailout worth billions of dollars. Bitcoin will hardly be able to climb above 18,200 today. The more realistic scenario is to test the level of $15,500 in the short term, and the token could get stuck in a narrow range between $17,000 and $17,900. InstaForex team wishes you gainful trades. Have a nice weekend. Follow developments in the global financial markets on InstaForex TV channel. See you!